If you're a dungeon master, you've heard it. We've all heard it. It's that classic phrase that can send a little shiver of, well, maybe excitement, maybe pure dread down your spine.
You know, it usually starts pretty innocently. One player gets an idea, they're feeling proactive, and they say the words.
Or maybe it's this one. Someone decides their character needs to be the bodyguard for a key NPC while everyone else moves on. I mean, it's a perfectly logical thing to do, right? And of course, there's the classic rogue or ranger move. And just like that, boom, the party split. Some DMs, they panic. Others try to muscle the party back together. And a lot of us, we just let it happen. And then 20 minutes later, deeply regret everything. But here's the thing we really need to get. Players don't split the party because they want chaos. They do it because from where they're sitting, it makes perfect sense. So in this explainer, we're going to break down why it happens, why forcing them back together almost always backfires, and most importantly, how to design scenes that keep the party united naturally. So, first things first, let's step into the player's shoes. We need to understand what's really going on in their head when they decide to wander off. Okay, we have got to bust this myth right now, because it's the source of so much frustration at the table. We assume that players who split off are just being reckless, or maybe they're trying to hog the spotlight, but the truth is, that's almost never the real reason. So, what is really going on? Well, it turns out that most of the time, a party split happens for one of three core reasons, and all of them are completely logical based on how we play the game. So, reason one, specialization. The game itself teaches players to do this. The rogue is the best at scouting, the wizard is the best at research, so when a problem pops up that fits their character sheet, they think, hey, this is my job, this is my moment. To them, it feels efficient. Reason two is what I call localized info. If you as the DM describe a noise upstairs and a locked door down the hall, players are going to think those are two separate problems needing two separate people. And the third reason? They actually want to help. They want to contribute, not abandon the group. They really believe that if they can handle one small problem on their own, they're helping the whole team. And this is a fundamental misunderstanding. The player is thinking, I'm being a hero. I'll solve this fast and make things easier for everyone. Meanwhile, the DM, who is now trying to run 2 or 3 different scenes at once, just sees a character walking away from the team. It's kind of ironic, right? Their desire to be useful is what's causing the headache. Okay, so now that we get that, we can start to see why our typical reactions as DMs can actually make things worse. Let's look at why trying to force everyone to stick together just doesn't work.
Come on, we've all been there. Maybe we've even done it. The door mysteriously jams, or that solo player suddenly runs into an impossibly tough monster. Or you pull out the classic loaded question. Are you sure you want to do that?
Look, the goal is to keep them together, I get it. But what do these tactics actually teach your players? They learn that being curious is dangerous, that taking the initiative gets you punished. So instead of teamwork, you just get a table full of hesitant, overcautious players who might just check out entirely. The goal shouldn't be to prevent splitting. It should be to make staying together feel like the smartest move on the board.
All right, so let's get proactive. This is where good, smart design really comes into play. You can actually build your adventures in a way that naturally encourages the party to stick together without ever feeling like you're forcing them.
So, principle number 1, make your problems multi-layered, not just a single task. So instead of a guard blocks the door, which, only the fighter or maybe the bard can handle, try this. There's a guard who needs convincing, but there's also a magical lock on the door, and there's a whole crowd of suspicious people watching. See what happens? Now your bard, your wizard, and your rogue all have something to do in the exact same scene. The party stays together because everyone feels like they matter right here, right now.
Number 2, share your information across the whole space. Instead of a weird noise that's only heard upstairs, maybe that sound echoes down into the main hall. Maybe the friendly NPC you have downstairs physically flinches when they hear it. You could even introduce some kind of time pressure that affects everyone, no matter what room they're in. This sends a huge signal to your players that says, hey, all of this stuff is connected. And you know what? Connected information leads to connected players.
Number 3 is huge. Use overlapping consequences. Design your world so that one player's action has ripple effects for the whole party. For example, if one character messes up a stealth check, it doesn't just alert one room, it puts the entire dungeon on high alert. If one player's actions cause a delay, that might change the whole group's plan. Your players will learn very quickly that going it alone means everyone has to deal with the fallout. And listen, this isn't punishment. This is just realism. Actions have consequences.
And finally,
this is a big one. Try to shift your mindset from designing locations to designing situations. Instead of thinking, okay, this is a room with a monster in it, I want you to think, this is an evolving scenario. A good situation is dynamic. It changes over time, it responds to what the players do, and, this is key, it encourages them to talk to each other before they act. That discussion, that planning session, is what naturally glues the party together.
Now hold on, because this isn't all on the DM's shoulders. If you're a player, you've got a massive part to play in this too. And there is a secret to making a party split work, for those times when it really does have to happen.
Here it is. The secret. Splitting the party isn't the actual crime. The real problem is splitting the party without talking about it first. It's all about teamwork, even when you aren't standing next to each other.
So before you just announce that you're scouting ahead, just turn to the table and ask a simple question. Something like, hey, does anyone want to come with me to check this out? Or even, wait, how does this fit into our main plan? Just a quick check-in like that can turn what would be a chaotic mess into a smart, coordinated move. The best parties out there, they move like a single unit, even when they're playing different roles.
All right, let's wrap this all up. If there's one thing to take away from all this, it's that players split the party because they're engaged. They're trying to solve the puzzles you're giving them. It's not because they're being careless. So for you DMs out there, your job is to design these rich, multi-layered, connected scenes where working together just feels like the obvious, smartest thing to do. And for you players, your job is to talk to each other, communicate what you're thinking, and invite your teammates to join in. It's truly a shared responsibility.
And that really is what it all comes down to. When you build a game where making decisions as a group is rewarded, both by the story and the mechanics, you're not going to have to worry about the party splitting. They'll stick together all on their own. Why? Because it's more effective. And honestly, it's just a lot more fun.